In this video, I'll explain how to use the right-hand rule. So, imagine you are given a question where you are asked to find the direction of the magnetic field when given the direction of current. So, what you would need to do here would be to first understand that current flows from a positive terminal to a negative terminal. This is just a second to show you what I'm saying. The bulb. So current flows in this direction, from the positive to the negative terminal. So suppose, for example, you're given a rod here held by this person. The direction of the thumb shows the direction of current. The thumb is pointing up, and therefore that means the current is also pointing up. If the thumb was pointing down, current would also be pointing down. But in this case, it's pointing up, and therefore current flows in this direction. So this is the direction of current. And maybe your teacher could ask you to tell him what the direction of the magnetic field would be in this case. The direction of the magnetic field is represented by the direction at which your fingers curl. You can see that your fingers are curled in this way. That is the direction of the magnetic field. They're curled in this way, you see? That's the direction of the magnetic field. Because this is a three-dimensional representation, you have to realize that the curl makes the direction of the magnetic field appear in such a way that it looks as if it's coming out of the page on this side and it's going to the page on this side. Now, because the direction is known, we can see that it's counterclockwise. We can therefore say that the direction of the magnetic field is anticlockwise or counterclockwise. And then sometimes you could be asked to find the source or the sign of the source of the terminal in a case where you're given the magnetic field. In this case, let's say, for example, you were given this magnetic field pointing in this direction, of course, and now you're asked to find the source, the sign of the source of the electric current. It's pretty clear that this would be positive and this would be negative. Why? Because remember, you already know that when the magnetic field is flowing in an anticlockwise direction, current is flowing upwards. And because current is flowing upwards, we know that current flows from a positive terminal, which is this one in this case, to a negative terminal, which would be this one in this case. The opposite happens when the current is flowing downwards. So for example, let me draw a rod here, where the current now is flowing downwards. This simply means that the thumb would also be pointing downwards. If the thumb is pointing downwards, you can just do that with your hand. Point your thumb downwards and curl your fingers. You will see that the direction of your fingers it shows something like this. Your fingers are curling in such a way that they go behind the rod and from this side, behind the rod, and appear in front of the rod this side. So if your current is flowing downwards, that means the magnetic field created by your current will flow in a clockwise direction. So you can do this again. Point your thumb downwards, curl your fingers, and look at the direction in which your fingers are facing. That will give you the magnetic field. So now that you know the direction of the magnetic field in relation to the current, let's go to an example where you're given current. We represent current in this way when it's coming out of the page. So imagine you have current coming out of the page, represented by this dot, and you're asked to find the direction of the magnetic field around the current. So you would draw your magnetic field lines, or your magnetic field line, whatever. Well, it depends on you whether you want to have one or two, but you have to just make sure that you represent it correctly. So if you have a dot like this, the dot represents a magnetic field, an electric current that's coming out of the page or out of the screen of the laptop or a tablet or a phone if you're using one. Now curl your fingers and point the thumb towards your face. When pointing your thumb towards the face, you will see that your fingers are curled in such that they are pointing in the direction. Remember, you are using your right hand rule when you're doing this. Fingers will point in this direction. That is the direction of the magnetic field. Magnetic field lines would face in this direction. And of course, this side, they will be looking like this, of course. Now imagine a case where the magnetic field is said to be going towards the screen of the laptop or your tablet or a paper. In this case, you will have to point your thumb towards the screen of the laptop or your phone or towards the paper and draw a magnetic field lines. Now, your fingers are curled in such a way that they are in this direction. When you point your thumb towards the screen of the laptop, your fingers will curl in this direction. You can try to do that now. If you don't understand or you find this confusing, you can write it in the comment section. I'll try to explain it again in the next video. So that's it. That's it for today. If you find my content informative and you would like to see more videos like this, please make sure that you subscribe, you hit the notification bells to be alerted whenever I post new videos, and make sure that you also share this video with friends. I've been Banele. See you.